but we're just doing it very small, just figuring out how it fits on the page, right? We're going to start by establishing where do we want our... Generally how I think about these is it's either the character on this side, do I want the character on this side, do I want the character facing this way, 3/4 straight on, and that's basically, it's kind of like, like the character select screen in RPG games. That's basically what I'm thinking about, right? Like, this is the character select screen of the RPG game that we're kind of playing right now. So let's start with our line of action. So ahead. So we're going to start with our 3 immovable masses. These little 3 immovable masses, if you guys read George B. Bridgman, that's kind of where I studied figure drawing, is George B. Bridgman. There was this artist when I was a little kid that I was really, really inspired by. His name was Frank Frazetta. And so that's actually who Frank Frazetta studied, was George B. Bridgman. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our 3 immovable masses, which is our head, torso, and pelvis. Also, I kind of forgot, there's actually another step I forgot. This is actually where we can get our proportion grid, which I think today we're going to just kind of go with normal human proportion. If you guys go into an animation studio or even like a video game studio thing, they have a big character sheet, right? And like all the different classes and all the different types of, there's like a dwarf, there's like a halfling. All these things have different proportional grids, right? Right now we're doing the human one. And there's a commercial. This is the human proportion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. There's like sound effects in this song here. Let me change it. Screw it, let's keep listening to it. There's like a little coyote howl or something. Okay, so how we think about it is we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is at the end of the pelvis. We're doing a pretty simple pose today because I'm trying to speed up the process. Normally I take a break right now, so kind of just going into it. This is a very, very simple pose. So I guess, let me zoom this in a little bit more because I know it's kind of like hard to see, right? There we go. This is a very simple pose. Now there's these landmarks that I like to think about, right? Of these 3 movable masses. 1, 2, 3. 5.5. Is that right there? I'm trying to think how we should do this. Maybe put it with that. Something like that. So this is our legs. We're going to do the arms. Trying to think if we should do a shield. We're going to have to put a shield in here somewhere, huh? How are we going to do this, everybody? How are we going to do this, everybody? And let me change this music. This has like ambience in it. Let's go to this song. We're going this. I'm going to warn everybody. This music's a little cheesy, but this music's a little cheesy, but we're going to try and do it. You like the cheesy music? I'm trying to think how we're gonna do this character. You don't like cheese though, huh? Wow. You not like pizza? How should I do this character here? So the other thing is we can also use this pencil. Let's actually go in now with this one. We can actually mess around. So this pencil is easy to erase. This one is not easy to erase. Like I can't really even erase that. But it does kind of make us commit. This one. Oh, this is Bully Slow Red. I can watch up in here. I haven't watched this in a while. This is an old video. It's like from the 90s or something. Just not only cheese. I'm trying to make this not look too threatening. That's the other thing. We always put the shield right there, but I actually might do that again. Oh wait, we're gonna put wings on here too, I forgot. Should we put wings on here? Are you guys seeing a little character in here? You guys see a little character we're trying to build up? Wow, Vic Murphy, dude, this guy used to be a believer, or not used to be a believer, this guy is a really gnarly believer. Dude, this guy's actually a really gnarly believer. This guy's like a pastor right now. That's so crazy. What the? I didn't know he rode for Bully. Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know that dude rode for Bully. Now let's look at this guy up. Vic Murphy. Yeah, look at that. Dude, we literally, this guy right here. Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I've never really watched this movie to the full, to like the full extent of this BMX video right here. Yeah, this guy right here. This guy like became a pastor or something, dude. Look. Jesus did all, let's ride. And then he does like, that's him right here. Man, that's so crazy. Dude, I'm like tripped out right now. Look at that. This is a famous photo of him. Like, basically every BMX rider has seen this photo right here. What the? That is hilarious, man. I never knew that this guy rode for this company right here. That is wild. Wow. That was like a little Easter egg. I was like, man, I never knew. That's so funny. Because actually one of my favorite riders used to ride for this company, Perry Murvar. Where'd my pencil? Oh, here it is. This is kind of a... I'm trying to see how I could do a bicycle. Oh, you know what we could do? Instead of this big sword, maybe we could do like a sword that we get like we did yesterday. You know, with like the book. Maybe push this hand a little bit up, right? Cause I'm trying to put a bike in here too. It's hard to like fit it all in here, which I guess this is why like the thumbnails are kind of good. Okay, so how do we fit a bike, a book, and all of this in here? That's the challenge that we're having right now. Let me zoom this out just a little bit more. You guys can't really see the rest of it. Okay, so I think we're gonna do the bike on this side. Okay, what about we do like one like that? Yeah. It's hard to like draw the sword like coming out of the book, but also how do you draw the arm behind it? See, and I guess these are what also it's kind of good about these little thumbnails is you can kind of think about, because I actually know that this part's actually going to be very challenging now. Now what we could do is we could put the shield in front right here, like this. And put the bike back here, which maybe that's what we should do. Maybe then we could fit it all in here. I think that's what we're gonna have to do, just like that. You guys see it? You guys think that's gonna work? I know it's kind of, this part I need to like figure out what we're gonna do right up in there. So let's keep redoing this part, because that part is very, very messy. Maybe what we could do is do a similar pose like that one dude. Maybe have this chick kind of like the book like. Do 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 do. There we go. That might be the sort, like she's holding it down there, and then maybe pushing the shield a little bit closer. Yeah, this might be it right here. I might do this one. You guys see it? I can see it. This part, I just know this part's going to be hard though right here. This part's going to be very, very challenging. We also have to somehow think about, I'm going to push the shield up a little bit more too. We also have to think about where we're going to put the verse. And this is kind of where we could place it on the thing. I guess I could put the bike right here and then put the shield right here. Maybe we'll go back to that idea. As you can tell, we can switch it up, and it's actually much easier to switch it up on this little drawing compared to us doing it in this big one where we have to erase all the paper, right? So making these little changes right now can help us save a lot of time. Now, do you guys know any lore to the kite shield? I think the kite shield was developed because of horses, right? I might be wrong on that though. I don't know exactly. Okay, so now I think we can put the bike right here. Okay, that looks good. And then we can put the verse right here. Alrighty, everybody. Well, can we maybe build this character up? How long did that take? I'm wondering how long that took right now. I think that, took 20 minutes? Do. All right, let's build this up now. Okay, so now we take it off of this paper. Now I need to change this song. This song is ridiculous. And if you guys can see it now, this is what we're building up. All things are possible with God. I don't know how you form these interesting compositions, but they're very interesting to watch. I think it's basically just once you learn the figure drawing thing, it's kind of just like building a character up like that. We'll change the music. This music is ridiculous. This is a weird zone, huh? We're just changing the zone. Let's just change the zone. This is a weird song too. Oh well. Alright, let's do this. Okay, everybody, okay. Man, that dude just did a tail whip. That's pretty crazy. He did that way long ago. So what we're gonna do, this is our composition. We're gonna think about placing the character in the little plane. So now this is just like the bigger piece of paper. And we're gonna basically kind of roughly go into, is this character does have wings. So we're actually gonna make this character a little bit smaller than normal characters. This is actually gonna be very challenging because I feel like when we look at it, I did end that wing right there. So we have to kind of think, where is this going to be getting placed on this piece of paper, right? I think we're going to go right here. Hey, let's just try it out, and we can just really rough it in. We're using this pencil so we can erase it easy. So let's go and maybe build up our proportion sheet. Let's go let's just try this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. I actually think that one's gonna work. Let's think about the shield real quick. I just want to think about the wing. Okay, so that means I'm gonna have to push that a push the shield a little bit more like this. Okay. All right, now let's go into it, and we're basically just building up the thumbnail just like we did, but we're going to be doing it with this pencil, and then we're going to be doing another layer on top of that one, and then we're going to be erasing this pencil and then going in with another layer, a cleanup layer on this one. So it's almost like a 3-layer technique in digital. If you were doing it digital, the only thing about this one is that you just cannot erase this one. We have to think about this layer right here is basically unerasable layer. So yeah. Okay, so let's try and build this character up now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our line of action, which is the spine of the figure. Let's go like that. Let's do the head. It might be actually a little bit too little. What do you guys think? I think it might be a little too little. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, let's just go with it. So we have our line of action. This is our this is the spine of the figure. We're gonna go 3 immovable masses. And this song is ridiculous.
This is a comeback moment for me because I've just been away from school for so long. It's important to be prepared because you don't want regret.
We're just going with this music. Let's go with this music. We're listening to game soundtracks, by the way. On each and I have no idea what they're saying, by the way. Okay, so 3 immovable masses, 1, 2, okay. I have to think about these as blocks of mass. 1, 2, 3, 4 is at the end of the pelvis. Should I zoom it in? I probably should zoom it in a little bit more, huh? Let's see the character construction. So, okay, so then we're using so if you guys study George Bridgman in figure drawing, he's very, very pivotal on these 3, he calls them 3 movable masses. And you think about these blocks. Some people, and by the way, this is how George Bridgman draws a figure. There's many different ways to draw a figure, by the way, so this isn't the only technique. A lot of other artists have way different techniques. You know, there's some techniques where you do ovals with everything. There's some techniques where people just don't even do this. They just go straight into it. This is just the one that I was kind of taught. And man, this figure is pretty small on here. I might have to... I need this bigger. Oh well. Huh. It might be an issue later on. Let me just think about this real quick. So this is this wing over here. I feel like I'm not even gonna have enough room for the Bible verse. I guess maybe we could put the Bible verse maybe right here. Let's keep going with it, I guess. Actually, you know what? I might have to push this back. It is pretty, you guys can see it's pretty small, isn't it? Now the thing is, I'm having to really think about this because I know, the thing about when you do it digitally is you can just you can quickly resize things, but the problem is with the traditional one, it's hard to do that. and sometimes it just takes up a lot of your time. Let me just place this in real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. End of the kneecaps. Let's split this in half. I'm going to quickly rough this in. I'm not sure if we're actually going to do this one, but I'm already pretty far into it, so we might have to commit to it. It worked though. It's weird. I haven't like drawn a character this. This is a very, very tiny figure for sure, and it's just because of the wings. And that's the thing, is I actually might have to like. I wish I could just. Now, if we were doing this digitally, I wish I could just, you know, do the lasso tool, just lasso tool this, and then just make it a little bit bigger. But I guess it is kind of cool because then we can make the wings like look a little bit bigger. Because normally I have trouble and I have to like make these like little kind of smaller wings. I still could make it bigger. Oh, this is my favorite part right here. This video. I've watched this one a lot. Should we commit to this one? I mean, it is pretty somewhat within that. Just the thumbnail. But now I'm almost thinking I should have almost made it like this. Scale. But I guess, see, that scale, I would have to make the wing a little bit smaller. I almost think that would look actually probably better if I did that scale right there. And I probably should have thought about that more, huh? Interesting. Darn, I should have scaled this differently. Oh well. Should we redo it? Or should I just go with this one? I kind of rushed a little bit. Oh well. Let's just... At least we didn't go full into it, right? So let's redo this again. We're rescaling this. Unfortunately, I'm going to rescale it. So that means we have to redraw the entire thing. But not. Luckily, we haven't went into the detail side of stuff. So we're still roughly in the beginning stages, so it's not that crazy of a restart. But yeah, we are actually going to crop this. And if you guys that are doing this digitally, this is the biggest thing I miss about digital art, is that digitally you can just like, just straight up, just whoop, you know, like. Alrighty, so we're basically gonna redo this entire thing right here. So let's just actually just commit to it, but we're just gonna redo it. So I'm just gonna do this like this, so I know for sure that I'm not gonna stick with this drawing. And we're gonna go with this crop ratio. It can only get better. We're going with this crop ratio, and then maybe we'll put the Bioverse like right here or something, or maybe, yeah. It's actually gonna be kind of hard to put the Bioverse, so we might have to put it right here or somewhere. Or we could just do the in and out thing where it just like, it just says like Isaiah, you know, 40:31. Alrighty, so let's redraw it. We're gonna do this scaling. We're basically doing the same thing. We're just redrawing this one. That's okay. So let's get up some new paper. And that is one thing about the thumbnails. And I feel like, I don't know, for some reason I was like okay with that. I was like, it's gonna work. But then I started realizing, wait a minute. I could have actually made, and see, it was actually, and that's what happened when I rushed something really fast, right? Is sometimes if you don't like really like think about it, you go, wait a minute. I didn't really think about that. Because if we actually rewind this video of how I did that, I just straight up just like was like, when normally I actually think about it a little bit more, which I actually should have thought about that. So actually we're doing this crop aspect ratio right here. So let's try this one. Okay. No worries. So that means, let's see here. Let's redraw it, everybody. I know I seem crazy, but okay. So we're gonna be placing our figure in again. Let's start right there, and let's see if we can build up the proportions again. Sometimes I don't get this right off the bat, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Oof, that's gonna be a little. Feet's gonna be hanging off the page. And see, that's what happens if you do it just a little bit too big. It's so crazy. That little bit of just difference changes quite drastically when we build the character up. I can't remember. Let's actually try this one. And I know it's like doesn't even seem that much crazier, but a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Okay, because this character's a little bit in a 3/4 position, just a tiny bit, and that means that if it's in a 3/4 position, it's actually going to be, instead of like this, it's going to be like this. And so if it's like this, you can see how my hand goes a little bit closer to the camera, right? So that's kind of what we have to think about if we're going to draw it like that, because it's going to be a little bit more, you know, like that. And sometimes we can think about this little line right here as an axis. You know, if this is like a plane axis, you can think about like this as a, you know, just like that. And it's just like, it would just be like right in there. It kind of help you out. And that also kind of helps you kind of place the character on the piece of paper a little bit easier too. Okay, so now the other thing about building this proportion grid up is that now if you go into, say, studying perspective, which perspective gets gnarly, right? you can essentially, if you know how this proportion grid is working, you can throw, just because you can just think about this as a line, right? And you can throw this into all these different perspectives, like 3-point perspective, fisheye perspective, all sorts of different perspectives. Okay, so let's do exactly what we did last time. I guess the other thing is I'm trying to think how we're gonna place this head in here. Even this one's, maybe I should push it a little bit more down, actually. I think actually man. I don't know if we're using this proportion grid. Kind of rushed it, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and a half, so it's gonna be a little bit off the paper. No, it's gonna be not off the paper. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's go back to a little bit bigger one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. I wonder if that's gonna work, because it might be right off the edge. Let's try it. Well, we're gonna give it just a slight go, just a slight little try out. So we're gonna start with exactly what we did last time, our line of action, which is the spine of the figure. Let's go through removable masses. One, 2, 3, 4 is at the end of the pelvis. Thinking about these as 3 blocks of mass. Let's split that in half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's actually just quickly see if the wings are going to be able to fit in here. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay, I think this one is maybe gonna work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a half is at the end of the kneecaps. Oops, I actually messed that up. Now this isn't always for everybody. This is just a rough estimation. And what is this song? This is like Duskwood's song. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a half. Okay, we place the figure in. You're gonna put the shield in here. Is the shield gonna fit in here? It should fit in here. I think we're gonna do a smaller shield because then we might have to write the verse down here. I might write the verse right here. And then you got the bicycle. Should be right here. Okay. All right. We actually. Okay. So this is the one that we're going with right here. Which I know it seemed crazy that I just redrew that entire thing, but basically this is the scaling that we're gonna go with. And yeah, this one actually might work out. Hopefully it works out, maybe. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with our commitment pencil. So we're switching with this one. Sometimes we have to be a little bit careful. When you use this pencil, you don't want to like just really like, dig it in there, right? Because like, so the other thing I found out, right, is see how there's these lines right here? Well, if you press this pencil like really, really hard on that line right there, then it's actually, sometimes it actually gets trapped underneath this pencil and you can't erase it. So you kind of have to like use a little bit of pressure sensitivity kind of with that pencil. I just want to let you guys know. And I just want to let you guys know that this pencil can be very, very frustrating. So, there's been because this one I can't really, you can erase it a little bit, but you can't erase it fully. So, just letting you guys know. Or change the video. Now we basically watched that entire Bully Slow Ride video. Okay, let's do this. We're making good time though. It's only been 4 hours, 17 minutes. Let's keep going, everybody. Let's go in with this pencil. So just like we kind of roughed it all out with the, building up the figure. Let me just zoom in so we can see it a little bit more. Yeah, right. We're going with our line of action, which actually, you know how that line of action actually was right there? Now we can actually, once we place see how we place these three movable masses, you can actually see where the spine is on the figure. So the line of action I actually got was wrong. Now the thing about the line of action, this little line of action thing, is that animators are really, really, really good at finding the line of action like this. Like even if you were to see this guy right here, it's like, where's this guy's spine, right? And then thinking about that axis thing I was talking about, and like even thinking about like a cheetah that's running or something like that, right? Its spine is going like this, right? Animators are really, 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 really good at the line of action. So if you guys, because it's almost like if you can find that line of action and you can be more accurate at finding the spine of the figure, you can start building up everything else from that, right? And that is actually where that line of action is. So now we're going to build this figure up. Three movable masses. Split that in half. One, two, three, four, five, and that's the other thing is I think I might have got some of this stuff wrong. So you can kind of like go back, right? It's not like you have to do the exact same line that you did, because you can also like kind of like go back and like correct yourself, right? So we go into our proportion grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and a half. So I guess that's roughly right there, right? And we can roughly see how this one is. See how the pelvis is kind of, it's not like this, it's a little bit more like that. We can take this line and then figure out, this, I'm like confusing myself. I probably make no sense whatsoever. We basically just take this little line and then we just kind of just do one like that, and you can't, because if it was like exactly 5.5, it'd be like that, right? And since the pelvis has moved a little bit, move the leg a little bit. It's actually weird. I'm like talking a lot more than what I'm drawing right now. I don't even know if anybody's watching. Oh, there's actually 4 people watching. Okay, so I guess there are some people listening to me. The other thing I want to say is I've said this stuff so many times now, so it's almost like I'm just like repeating myself a lot. But I guess repetition is kind of what gets us to memorize things, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. That is a big landmark, though. I forgot who I learned that from. I don't know if that was from George Bridgman. It might have been from what's that guy? Glenn Vilppu. Because I kind of so this technique that I'm doing, it's a kind of a combination of multiple figure drawing artists. It's a combination of, well, I guess we haven't really done the Andrew Loomis technique right now, But I kind of learned from Glenn Vilppu and George B. Bridgman, and that's kind of like but I also, so I've learned from mostly the figure drawing technique of constructing a figure has been mostly from George B. Bridgman, which George Bridgman studied Michelangelo. So in some weird way, this is in some strange way potentially how Michelangelo would build up figures and stuff like this, right? But then also I've learned from Glenn Vilppu. Glenn Vilppu, I don't really know who he studied, but then also I've taken techniques from Andrew Loomis, which the Andrew Loomis, he's much more mechanical, I would like to say, and he's really about like perspective and all sorts of stuff. Mike Wandu, I've been learning, thanks. I apologize if I'm confusing anybody, by the way. Okay, so let's go into... Now, I also don't know what these muscles are. I do know that I've drawn so many legs. I know there is actually a muscle. There's actually two muscles that go in right here. So there's a muscle that goes right there, and then there's like another one that goes under it. And then there's also this really crazy artery right there, which you do not want to cut that artery, because there's this crazy main artery that goes up to your heart, and a lot of people have died because they've cut that artery. So if you guys are, I mean, I don't know, I guess it would be a freak accident, but please protect. I mean, I'm honestly surprised there's not more armor, like, you know, that kind of, there's a crazy artery right there that a lot of people have died because they've cut it. I don't know what artery. Do you guys know what artery that is? I'm not a crazy anatomy person, but I do know that there is one that's in there. You guys have probably heard it, especially if you're like a nurse or something, or a one of those like medic people. You guys have definitely probably heard about that artery, because I think if you cut it, you'll like bleed out in like 20 minutes or like 5 minutes. I don't know what it is. It's something crazy. And the other thing is from that artery also, I've seen, if you see some MMA guys, how they cool off is they'll actually take an ice pack and they put it right there. And you're like, why do they put an ice pack right there? It's because that main artery goes all the way up to the heart, right? And then that heart starts putting out cold blood everywhere and starts cooling you off. And I recently learned that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, today's bike riding was brutal. It was really hard today. Interesting stuff. Funny, huh? I guess it's not funny. It's actually, it could be potentially pretty serious. Serious matters concerning this stuff. I mean, potentially you might be able to save somebody's life if, you know, knowing that, right? That's why they have that tourniquet thing. If you see somebody get cut right there, just be very, very aware. Because you might have to like make that weird thing where, you know, you wrap it up and you have to cut off the blood circulation or something like that. That might actually, I don't know if they actually do that, but I think that might be an area where they have to maybe do that. Okay, so we got this down. Let's work on our deltoids. And this is actually a point where we can actually we'll go back to this pencil, because this pencil is a lot more easier to erase. And thinking about like the hand, I'm thinking about the hand like a little block. You know, it's like this little block. If you think like what Bridgman starts teaching as he teaches things in like masses, like, you know, if you just think about things, and, you know, it's like a lot of artists say that, just think about it as like a big, you know, it's kind of like this rectangle shape, or we're basically just drawing a big rectangle shape. And so now this is the technique, kind of like what the Andrew Loomis technique is. So I know Andrew Loomis, he starts talking about these arcs, right? And why he starts talking about these arcs is because there's these, so when we figure out, okay, so that's like the end of the bicep, right? And there's a little bit of the tricep, you don't really see that. There's the end of the deltoid. So this bicep kind of like goes, and if we think about this as an axis, like if that was a little axis right there, this bicep can go all the way around, right? I guess not all the way, I guess depending on how flexible you are. But also within this axis, not only is there this axis, if we wanted to draw this hand, if we wanted to draw like this arm like all the way up here, right? We could follow this axis and then figure that out, right? And this is how some animators also figure out how, you know, how to draw like a bunch of different poses and stuff like that. But also from this axis, we can also think about this axis right here, right? So it's kind of like a very simple concept. Just being like, okay. But also we have to remember that this character's not like this, it's like this, right? So also you have to kind of put that into a factor of you know, what we're doing. That makes sense. I'd like to think about this is the end of the elbow. Okay, so the elbow's somewhere over here. I don't know, right? And then something like that, right? There's gonna be the buck or something. Kind of, we did like this, a very similar pose yesterday. And then I'm also thinking about like the handle. Generally, it's kind of weird. I like doing, I guess this is something I haven't really voiced in terms of like speech. But sometimes, like lately, I've been liking to take this, you know, there's these lines right here. This line, this line, this line. There's actually supposed to be a line right there. This is actually kind of confusing to people, I think. Let me erase this one. That line shouldn't be there, actually. It actually should be more like that, right? And just kind of taking these lines, but also when we do like the hilt of the sword, kind of like, you know, kind of maybe, but also we can kind of think about, you know, like, that's kind of what I've been kind of, you know, kind of like gives this like little, like unison look about it. Or I probably just seem like a crazy person. It's funny that you guys are even watching this. This is the ramblings of a madman. I'm just kidding. And we've been listening to the soundtrack. Let me change the soundtrack. I'm probably bored of this. Holy moly, we've been listening to that for 40 minutes and we're still making some good time. We're making good time still.
Good evening.
Wait, is this so
Tonight
long?
we have
Okay.
Pride of West Africa. It brings together the
There we go. Jambaji. All right, what do you guys think? Should we go over it? And that's why we use this pencil, right? So it's like we do have a push and pull. It's like a push and pull technique, right? But I think we are going to commit to that. Let's bring out the commitment pencil. Just go whoop, whoop. Shap, shap. Sipa. Du kalaba. Heep, 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 heep. Now, I'm still not sure about the shield, because it's actually weird. I've been like, a lot of the shields that I've been drawing, they've been just having this flat top right here. But as I've been seeing some kite shields actually like go up like that, which I don't know why they do that. There has to be some sort of reason. It's actually very interesting when we get into armor design. There a lot of these little subtle little bends and stuff. Well, sometimes the bends are just like it may be an aesthetic thing, but if we look deeper into it, a lot of these bends actually had a deeper purpose. And I'm still not at that level of knowing why certain, why the shield's like this, or why the shield's like this, or I think I did hear something about the kite shield of why it started bending down, right? Because there also is just like that. It's not actually called a tower shield, but it's that shield that just looks like a big rectangle, right? It's kind of, like the Roman shield is kind of actually like a curved rectangle, Now I think what somebody did say is that like the kite shield was because of like mounted when you were on a mount or something. I think it would like get out of the way or something like that, but I might be wrong on that. So what was I doing? I lost my place. Yeah, we're gonna do. Let's try and do this one now. Let's draw through the form. Let's do the Andrew Loomis technique. Let's kind of split it right there. We kind of know roughly that the elbow is going to be like right there. So we go over here. The rough elbow is going to be right somewhere over there. And we got the hand, which I don't know exactly how we're doing the hand. So we're just going to rough it in there. And then now, let's just start sending it. We're just going to start. We're going to really commit to this now. Like we're going to commit. I was actually kind of hesitating on like, should I put that little bend up there? We're going to go with it. Now, there also is some shields that kind of have like this little cutout thing that I've been kind of liking to put the little cutout. So we're actually going to put a little cutout right here. It's kind of fun to do. Put a little notch right there. Let's put that in half. Honor it to the Lord. Just like that. Yeah, it's like playing an RPG game, everybody. This is BMX Bible Adventures. Welcome, everybody. Maybe I'm not exactly sure. I guess this cutout right here, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This is more of a video game element. This little cutout thing, but I think I have seen some shields because they like, you can like go behind it and then you could use this and maybe use the sword and kind of like poke somebody out right there, but. Something like that. Something like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, everybody, is now we have all of this up in here. Let's just commit to it. We're going to commit to some of these wings as well. Let's just commit to some of these wings. Just a little bit. Just a tad, we're just... Because we know we're going to go with the wings like that. Now we can't really go back, so. Okie dokie. So now we're going to go back with this pencil. And we're going to go in. And so now this is actually a technique from Brad Rigney. Brad Rigney had this technique where he said, I don't know, when he constructed his figures or something like that, at this point, at this stage, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, I want to put the armor right here. Let's work on this little bracelet over here. Let's work on this little thing over here, or this over here, or even how I was doing this right here, right? Let's work on this over here. What Brad Rigney said is sometimes there's something actually strange about humans innately. Well, I guess this is actually not what Brad Rigney said. This is actually what some other artist said. There is something strange innately with just humans seeing another human's face, or another human and seeing hands, right? And what's it called? There's some sort of word for it. It's like, darn, there's a word for it. I can't remember it right now, but there's actually a word. I think there's a word called like uncanny. No, it's not. Is it uncanny valley? Something like that, right? Where it's like, you know, people get tripped out about like faces and stuff like that. So, we're going to work on the hardest areas first, which for me personally are the head and the hands, and we're going to build everything up. And then what Brad Rainey said is when you work on the hardest areas first and then kind of work your way up, depending on what you think is hard, right? It makes everything else a little bit easier, right? And also, if you are on a very strict deadline, it's also a good one to work on the hardest areas first. So we're going to go in, we're going to clean this up. Now, I also want to say with this eraser, sometimes you want to make sure that this eraser is somewhat clean. There have been some times where I was, especially like if you do an ink or something like this, maybe say ballpoint ink, and you were erasing kind of the stuff underneath it, sometimes the ink actually gets in the eraser a little bit, and there have been times when I like would erase it, and then just a big ink smear just goes, and you're like, no! That has happened, so now we're going in, and see how I can't really erase that green pencil? And now where we're going to go in is we're just going to kind of like just kind of go in and see if we can find like a character in here, right? And there's so many variables within this stuff. Let's see if we can find a character in here. These are props rituals, interesting. Kind of want to watch. Let's watch like BMX Olympic racing. I thought I had it in here. Let's see if we do. So, do we have Olympic racing? I thought I placed it in here somewhere. Oh, we do. Okay, here we go. We're not going to watch the actual Olympic thing, because I don't actually have it, but we can watch this one. This is gnarly. Now, BMX Olympic racing was actually in it before any other BMX. It was the first BMX discipline in the Olympics. Okay, so let's figure out, and also right here, there are a lot of things we could do with this right now, right? Do we want the head like this? Do we want it like this, like this, like this, like this, like that? You know, it could be just like, you want it looking up, looking down, right? But lately I've been having a lot of characters like this way. I kind of want to do like a straight on pose, maybe. We're just practicing right now. That's how we do that. I'm not sure. Did that chick win something? Or did she lose? I don't know. Okay. So I think we're gonna commit to it. So where's our commitment pencil? There we go. Pencil. And let's commit to some of this stuff. I don't know. We're gonna have to put some shoulder. I'm not gonna commit right there because we are gonna put some like armor up in here. You also have to think about like the armor god thing. Okay, so there we go. I know this hand's going to be very, very challenging right here, so let's work on that right now. Let's change the music. Does this sound like goth music?
Oily roots, dehydrated lengths, 2 problems, 1 solution.
Let's do this. Doom 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 doom. Just put a quick tabard on. Now this hand right here is going to be very challenging. I can already just tell. Yesterday I was having trouble with that hand too. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and do the hand first before we do the book, right? Because I feel like if you commit to that book right there before you kind of do the hand, it's like you can kind of like get it a little bit more confusing. Let's just practice. Let's keep practicing and see if we can get a little bit closer with this. Okay, so we think about the arm right here. Let's think about this as a big shape of mass. Right? Almost like I'm confused on how. I just do one similar from yesterday. You know, I think it actually there would be a little bit of what's it called? Foreshortening, because I guess she is kind of like pushing her arm up. So I guess that's another thing about the whole arcing technique too, because so say we wanted to foreshorten. Imagine she had her hand like going out like that, right? So we would have to take this pivot point and then think about that pivot point and then think about like that little arc thing right here, right? But then sometimes like the arc looks like this, right? So the foreshortening kind of can be kind of confusing, right? Because it can look like this, and it can even look like that, right? You can even be like straight up, or even just like a little bit arched like that, right? And so that's the thing about like the pivoting stuff with the foreshortening. But also we're thinking about like the arcs and stuff like that. I probably make no sense whatsoever, but. Man, that song probably just got my thing copyrighted. That was a commercial. We might just keep that hand. Sometimes it's almost like that's the other. That one kind of looks right, but it's like. So sometimes a bit of a kind of like, you know, like in a video game where you have to grind for an item. That's what it feels like. I might just keep that. I know I'm really bad at the hands. I'm not the greatest at the hands. Then. Okay, let's go. And now we're gonna try and maybe there. So push that one out like that. Let's push this one out. And kind of go like that. And actually, I think I got that wrong. Darn. Huh. No. We got it. Let's draw some armor and stuff. He's just playing an RPG game. One, two is at the end of the peck. We're going into different, this is like goth music. Man, there's a lot of commercials on these ones. I need to just put it on a long playlist because I'm going to have to keep clicking these off. How should we do this? Okay, I'm getting a little confused here. Let me think about this. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, okay, so if we go, okay, so see how we have this, so these are still useful right here. This is actually probably this is very, very useful still, the proportion grid. Now it's kind of weird, I know this is actually a very strange landmark, but there is a strange landmark with the peck on both males and females. Is that just the muscle underneath the pec muscle is actually at like 2 heads. Well, I have no idea why it's like that, but it's something that is actually there. Let's actually go with this one. So 1, 2. I'm just gonna roughly put it in. And we're going to think about, I'm wondering how I'm going to do the chest piece on this one. We might do like little shoulder pads. Little simple looking shoulder pads. Let's experiment right here. On the deltoid right here. Thinking about, let's see here. How should we do this? I don't know. We're just doodling now at this point. Let me see how I put some different music. I need to like find like a playlist. Because there's a lot of commercials when I put the, for some reason when I put the goth music on, there's a lot of commercials. I have to keep clicking on them. Playlist. Oh, let's go into this one. Is this still copyright free? Holy moly, this is still copyright free. You guys won't believe it. This is still copyright free. Where should we go with this? I also think this won't work over there either. I have to make them a little bit smaller. I guess maybe working out. I don't know. Trying to think about how to do it. It's so easy to put little crosses and things too. Check it out. Like, how hard is that to do? That's one thing I could, if I could ask the Lord, I'd be like, Lord, do you really want me putting crosses? Is this how you want me to bear the cross, God, right now? Because honestly, it's not really that hard. That's actually how I used to do it too. In the very, very beginning, before I was even a gnarly believer, right? I wasn't even a believer, and my friend would be like, dude, could you put a cross on the hilt? Can you put a little cross on the hilt of the sword? I'm like, all right. And that's basically exactly what I would do right there. Not knowing that later on, the implications of just even that little cross would have a much deeper significance upon a lot of things. Okay, so see, so one reason I actually like putting the leaf pack is see how we did the pelvis right here? It's very easy to take the pelvis and just put a little leaf pack. So that's what we're gonna do. How to draw a leaf pack is we just kind of, see how it's like sitting right there? We just kind of make it a little bit like, or actually we need to clean this up a little bit. I actually forgot. And I'm getting a little confused. Now, let me erase some of this stuff from here. Oh, let's see, actually, yeah, okay. Some of this stuff's actually getting very, very wild. And sorry about this music. If I should put on something a little bit more chill. It's like straight up just drum and bass music right now. I do like drum and bass, don't get me wrong. I do like it. What about this music? By the way, this guy, I used to watch this edit so much. I used to want to ride like this guy before I tore my ACL. Alright, let's go in with this Bible. Let's see if we could put a cross on here. That's kind of what I was worried about. No, that's not gonna work. There we're gonna at least put a little cross in there, right? But it's also kind of like in a weird perspective, so it's gonna look strange. Even add a little cross. There's like a lot of crosses already in this. Man, I'm kind of zoomed out. I forgot. There is a lot of crosses so far, even in this drawing. Look, she has a cross. I mean, I guess you can't really see it, but those are supposed to be. Oh, sorry, this is like moving. My bad. She's got cross earrings. She's got. This is supposed to be a cross. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the hilt. 8. On the sword, on the shield. We already got 8 crosses up in here. Okay, let's see. What am I doing here? It reminds me of those little activity books where it's like, how many? Oh yeah. You know, I actually used to do that with some of the drawings. When I would post them, I'd be like, how many crosses can you find? I need to make these one a little bit more prominent, huh? Okay, let's clean some of this stuff up. So now I actually kind of have been getting a little confused now because now I'm like, I have like, and that's actually one of the kind of confusing things about using this technique where we're kind of pushing and pulling, you know, putting this pencil in, erasing it, putting back this pencil. So sometimes it's almost like you kind of have to keep track of like the layers that you're using in your head. I guess not in your head, but like just kind of, you know, the layers that we're using. So let's clean some of the stuff up in here. Let's actually just go in with some of the green pencil and just kind of like experiment now. We know we're gonna do a little leaf pack, so. A leaf pack. Now tabard. I know I do the tabard, it's just easy. I guess we will commit to this. Pretty sure this chick's a believer too. This chick's wearing a cross. That's actually why I saved it on this playlist. Wheelies. See, it's always just strange, even seeing somebody with a cross. I feel like I'm like, what in the world? What in the chabanga? What in the little ground squirrel? What in the little ground squirrel? We could even have a bracelet right here and put another cross up in there. See, I feel like that's the crazy thing about the cross, right? It's like it's so easy just to put in something, right? Just, it's so easy, yet it's so controversial, right? Because that's the crazy thing. Because then I've heard some believers say, you know, how crazy would it be if we just asked every single company, can you guys put one little cross somewhere? Every movie, every video game, can you guys at least bury even the littlest cross somewhere that we can find? Like thinking that the Lord had to straight up, he died on the cross. Can we even put a little cross in anything? It's like, man. I don't know, if I could talk to the Lord, I would want to talk to him about that. Okay, what are we doing here? I'm confused. This is actually very confusing right here. I'm gonna have to read. I've been kind of like trying not to hit, like, go in that little sector because I'm like, I don't want to touch it, but I can do it. think we're gonna put like, it's just so complex right there. I kind of want to put like maybe a bracelet. Let's put a bracelet. Just because you can't really see the cross too well, we can do this. Put another cross. just add a cross there. This is why people said I could never work in a public school, man. It's like, they'd be like, why are you can't be putting crosses on everything. Like, this is just absurd. I just go, well, it's so easy. You just put out it's just two little lines. All right, let's go into this. Little stem. Little leaf. Leaf pack, leaf pack, leaf pack. That's kind of how I just draw the leaves. I mean, I guess it's kind of like the easy way. You just kind of do the line, just kind of follow through on both sides. There's a pretty big leaf pack there. You can probably fit some. Almost seems like you could fit the Bible in there. That's another thing I kind of like thinking about, like the leaf pack. It's like adding, like what could you put in there? It almost seems like if you folded this Bible up, it could almost like fit right in there. I guess that'd be a pretty snug fit, because it'd be like that. I actually think it would maybe fit in there. But like thinking about stuff like that is kind of cool. It's kind of like fun. Okay, what else are we doing? Now I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really studied too much on how breastplates work in terms of like the armor, right? Music's epic though. For some reason this video is like, these videos are weird. They're like, it's like not cropping right. Watch it like that then. Alright, what are we doing here? Let's work on the belt. We can put some more cross on the belt too. The rope belt. You're gonna be wearing a chainmail. Oh, I was gonna put some armor right there, but it's kind of like really busy right there. like went with the music. It's like playing an RPG game, everybody. This is BMX Bible Adventures, where hopefully we can make disciples of all nations. I know I probably seem like a crazy person, but it does kind of make it a little bit fun, right? It's like the RPG game. Just like, what character do you want to play and how to make a disciple? I have no. I guess I do kind of know, but a little bit. A disciple class. Just gonna be like blocking arrows or something. But see, now it's like once we got like the hard parts, well, I guess I didn't really go into that one too much, but see how we got kind of like the hard, and so the other thing is like these little, I know I say it a lot many times, but these little like indications of the armor, you can kind of take little elements, like see how this one has a little cross on it? Well, when we add in maybe a little bit of this armor right here, we can add in a little bit of that too in other areas. It's actually going with that halo. I think that halo actually got wrong. Halo. Darn, I think I did. I'm actually working on the sword. Now I am thinking about the sword, but also see this little indent right here. I'm gonna make the sword just a little bit skinnier. There's these little things, it's almost like a little story in the character. Or something like that, or it just seems like I'm crazy, but... Let's clean it up. Ooh, this video is cool. This rider has a really cool style. Let's watch this right now. Actually, I need to make this video bigger. I can't. Well, I guess I can. Oh, you know what? I haven't had the text on. That's what I forgot. This guy has a really cool style. This guy right here. Look at him. He does that trick I'm kind of doing, but he does it like way crazier. I mean, he's doing way more tricks into it, but that's a boomerang, flail boomerang into an outside pedal squeaker. Man, that trick right there is crazy. He does a boomerang to outside pedal squeaker. This one right here. Boom. Man, that looks crazy. Into like he just like holds it a little bit. Flat can't, flat can't, flat can't. That area looks really flat. Wow, that was insane. It's crazy because people do that nowadays. This video is pretty old too. But that right there, I'm pretty sure people do that trick right there. Like pros. Man, dude, that's crazy. He like did a Superman. Dude, what in the world? That looks so crazy. He's like just floating on the air, dude. That looks crazy. What in the world? I want to learn that. Dude just straight up just looks like he's floating on the air right there. Where's my hand thing? Did I lose that thing? Where is it? Oh no. Where'd it go? I know, he's like hanging off. He was like on his seat. It was like a steamroller Superman, it looked like. Bro, what happened to my hand thing I was using? I lost it. My hand holder thing. Where did that thing go? It has to be somewhere around here. I lost it. It's weird. I have no idea where it went. Where did it go? I guess I'm trying to use a piece of paper, I guess, but I don't know. No worries, we'll just use a normal piece of paper. I always lose that sticker. So they had that sticker specifically for my hand placement thing. Oh well. I don't know where it is. Huh?
You start getting too warm, turn that one on. I'm going to turn the big one off.
I'm also trying to let's do this. Let me speed this up. Man, I should have been done pretty a long time ago. I guess not done, but I feel like I should have been faster. I also don't know if this song's on copyright anymore. Okay, we're slowly making progress. And you can see if the song's on copyright. Well, the song's not on copyright. let's just keep working on this thing. Let's put a little cross up in here too. Little cross. Put some chainmail. When in doubt, you just chainmail it out. I feel like that is a very good way to just kind of if you don't want to draw things, you just do these little chainmail things and you just go, oh, it's just chainmail. Man, this character looks pretty gnarly though, I'll say. I think I'm gonna redo that little part. I think I messed that up. I wanted to make it look like ethereal, but it's not really looking ethereal. It's kind of just looking janky. How do we make it look ethereal? Looks a little bit better. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. We don't know what we're doing. See if this song's on copyright free. It's crazy, you've been watching the stream all day, man, Rena. You do not, anybody watching this stream, you guys do not need to be watching this stream. I feel like my stream's probably pretty boring. You guys are not incentivized to watch this stream. It's crazy. I just feel like it's not the most entertaining person. I feel like I'm trying. I mean, you know, I could try, but this at some point it just I don't even know what I'm talking about. I guess maybe I do know what I'm talking about, but just take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how we're gonna do this. Maybe she's gonna wear sandals or something. Not sure we're gonna even do that either. Because I know some of the translation it says like boots, some of them say sandals. I guess she's gonna have like shin guards, like little shin guards like that. Yeah, the song's groovy. And see how this is just like a very simple, just little shape right there? Let's just do like this little element, like this simple just bloop. And we'll just do a simple just bloop. And see this little thickness right here? Let's try and add that in there. Like that. gonna change that. I don't know if we're gonna go with it. I think I should make that one. What's more? Holy moly! What in the little ground squirrel? What's up, dude? Man. Dude, Twitch is cool. Like, it's cool that like Twitch has like the raid thing, you know? What's up, Brian? I hope you're doing good. Anybody out there, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are finding the words from the Lord that you guys need to keep you encouraged and to keep you guys motivated. And remember, let us just continue to build one another up and try to keep sowing seeds of faith out there. You know, keep practicing, you know. I feel like there's many different ways to plant seeds of faith, especially where God may have you. So there's always ways to experiment, I think, right? I don't know what you guys think about that, but right now we're just drawing this character up in here. And how are you guys doing? I'm doing alright. It's been a long stream, so I'm trying to draw this Armor of God winged thing out. How was your stream? Wow, a 12-hour stream, bro. That's gnarly. I've never done a 12 hours. Actually, maybe I have a long time ago when I used to play WoW. Serving for him. You have a good one, man. Yeah, you guys are not incentivized to even watch the stream. I feel like my stream's pretty boring. Because, like, it's just kind of like watching, like, paint dry, you know? I wish I could draw this, like, really, really fast, like, you know, but there's a lot of, like, thinking and redrawing things and stuff like that. Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. These drawings are fun. Now I am using a somewhat new pencil. This pencil right here, bro, these ones have been, I feel like I've literally been drawing faster with this pencil right here just because it has a spring in here. I used to use, where is it? Do I have one around here? I thought I did. Oh, here it is. I used to draw with these pencils, right? These ones. The thing is these ones don't have a spring in it. So like if you accidentally like press a little bit too hard, it just snaps the lead. But this one, it was weird because I was like, break resistant, is that just like the lead is break resistant, or is it just like what is break resistant? But it's actually, there's this spring in the pencil, and it has like a shock absorber. Which it's so crazy that somebody actually like took the time to be like, man, these pencils, it was probably some guy that was actually had the same problem. He's like, dude, I'm always breaking this lead. I am literally going to design a pencil that has a little spring in there so you can't break it. What are you guys doing? What games have you guys been playing lately? What verses have you guys been thinking about? Man, I did a Bible study on 1 Colossians 11 today, and it was brutal. Probably one of the longest commentaries I've actually read. It was actually really weird. One of the longest commentaries I found. Was 1 Colossians 11 today. Okay, let's see here. What am I doing here? Drawing this character. That's what. I feel like once it gets later in the stream, I'm just kind of like, I don't even know what I'm even really talking about. I'm just like, I use up most of my, I guess my speechcraft is on the Bible study. Kind of simplifying that boot up in there. She's gonna be wearing chainmail right here. When in doubt, chainmail it out. Which, man, chainmail was really interesting. Have you guys actually seen how they used to make it? They used to literally fashion every single chain, man. It was like a crazy laborious process. I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, built Legos today, and did some crazy IRL challenges as well. I was so fun. 1 Corinthians 13 has been on my mind. Interesting. 1 Corinthians 13, is that the part on love? Let's see how much I've remembered it. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not insistent on its own way. Love is enduring. And I know I just missed like 5 other ones. I've been trying to memorize that part of the chat. I've actually been trying to memorize 1 Corinthians 13. I still have yet to fully memorize it all. I don't even know where my Bible is. I should have my Bible somewhere. I don't even know where it is. Let me just keep going. It sure is. Yeah. Those are some very, very important verses, right? Very, very important verses. Because also it makes me think about these verses right here. Let me put it in the chat. John 13:35. John 13:35. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. And it's crazy. I actually did a Bible. We looked up some commentaries on John 13:35, and it's weird because a lot of translations it says all men or all people, like everybody, even unbelievers should know that we are Christ's disciples by our love for one another and even love. It's crazy. I'm like, holy moly. Holy chabunga, everybody. Okay, we're going to draw this bike up in here now. So, if you guys want to know how I draw bikes, this is basically how I draw bikes. I don't know if you guys can see this guy right here. Now, what I do is I roughly gauge, because this is, I'm going to try and draw a BMX bike. How I've kind of figured out how to draw a BMX bike compared to the figure is I'll take this this shin bone measurement right here from like the heel to the end of the kneecap, and you can kind of see right there actually, you can see if you can only estimate if that's a 20-inch wheel, then you can kind of like see it's a quick gauge on how to draw a bike. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this somewhat in a subtle perspective, kind of like how this chick's actually in a perspective, not like this, but she's actually more like kind of like that actually. Let's try and do that as well with the bike. So we're going to just roughly say we're going to the bike's going to be right there. We're going to roughly kind of gauge that right there and just put a circle up in there, which we kind of already did put a circle right up in there. And then how I've kind of figured out the bike proportions, because there is a weird proportion with BMX bikes, even though there is a lot of variations to it. The variations are very, very subtle. It's like 1 inch, couple inches and stuff like that. But how I've kind of basically nailed it down into is we go 1, 2, like this, 2, and then it's almost 3. It's like you'd think it'd be almost 3, but it's actually a little less than 3. So instead of full 3, it's like a little less than 3. Like right there. Something like that. I think I might, yeah, we'll have it like that. Let me change the music up in here. I think, is this copyright free? I've been always having to find like copyright free music, so. What kind of music do you guys listen to? I listen to I honestly, I'm going to be honest, what's actually weird is I listen to more copyright free music now than I actually do copyrighted music. Which there is a way. Have you guys looked up how like, you know, like those big streamers, how they're listening to copyrighted music? I guess there's this way that they have this thing on OBS where you can listen to copyrighted music, but then there's this filter where then when your stream gets saved VOD, the copyrighted music doesn't get picked up. But it's like they already silenced it out or something like that. It's weird. I don't know how really they do it. Huh. Man, there's a lot of weird songs in this playlist that I have. We're going to Elder Scrolls. Hello, Audra Sevenria. Hello there. Welcome there, travelers. What are you doing? I actually feel like maybe I should make this like a little bit smaller. But no, we're gonna go with it. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're gonna make this like a rectangle, like this. We're gonna split this little circle like that, like a rectangle. Let's split this rectangle in half, like this. And then we're gonna figure out that that's roughly in the middle, so that's kind of where the hub is. And then where I like to start drawing the bikes, I actually like starting with the fork. And by the way, I'm not a mechanical engineer. By the way, I don't know, Brian, have you ever thought about getting into like mechanical engineering? I mean not mechanical engineering, like mechanical drawing design stuff. Dude, that stuff is gnarly, bro. That's a whole nother level of perspective learning. There's like, before CAD was even developed, people literally drew entire engineering plans, schematics for how to build engines, every single part on a car, every single part on a plane. It is crazy, right? You have to know your perspective like really, really dialed. There's all sorts of weird calculations they can do. And also, I am going to make this a little bit more of a flatland bike because unfortunately, from what I was told, the reason why, from what I was told, I don't know if they're completely correct, but from what I was told by some flatlanders, is the reason why flatland BMX was not in the Olympics, which it was super, super close to being in the Olympics, like really, really close to being in the Olympics, is that there wasn't enough female competitors. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this as a flatland bike to hopefully somehow promote flatland or something like that. It's kind of fun. It's honestly fun drawing flatland bikes. I find it fun. We're just going to rough it in here. And flatland bikes have weird geometry. We're going to make some really... I guess I kind of want to do like V-bars. Let's see how like this is kind of like a V thing right here. We have like this V shape. Let's kind of like maybe do like some like weird like subtle like V shape like that. Almost kind of like taking this little element. And I actually really like doing this with the design stuff, is taking little elements like this and like seeing if we can almost add it into other areas. Like this part right here. See how this is a little weird shoulder pad? But it's like this very simple shoulder pad. We tried to do that with right here. Just like little things like that. It's kind of fun. I think it's fun anyway. And this music kind of boring. Let me change it. Let me change this music. I've listened to this too much. This is Oblivion music. What should we listen to? Let's listen to... Let's listen to this. OST. And if you guys are also wondering, music from video games, a lot of it is copyright free. Or it's like, I guess, allowed or something like that. That's what I listen to a lot. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, what are we doing? So we figured out that this is where the wrist, that wheel is in there. We're not going to be able to see the seat tube. The seat tube actually would be maybe like right there. I'm just going to have some weird bendy tubes up in here. Like really, really bendy tubes, actually. Hey Jamie, I hope the rest of your stream goes well, brother. May God continue to bless you in your stream. God bless you. For sure, man. Have a good one, brother. And I hope, and by the way, anybody out there else watching, I hope you guys get interested in streaming. I think it's actually, so what I've been told from other big streamers is if you guys have any sort of inclination at all to make a YouTube channel, to make YouTube videos, to make even anything like that, streaming is way easier compared to editing YouTube videos. Because if you guys start even trying to edit YouTube videos, you're going to start finding, whoa, editing's a lot of work, right? And it's also really, really intimidating, especially with like doing a Bible study or something like that, because, you know, sometimes you have to like re-listen to everything that you're saying over and over and over again, right? And you got to edit, you got to trim this out, you want to trim this out. It's kind of taxing actually on the mind. But from what I was told from some of these big streamers is that like streaming, though it is scary because you can make mistakes on the fly and people can see your mistakes, the thing about streaming is that it's also liberating. It's liberating because you can't edit things out, right? And so if you guys are interested, maybe doing a Bible study or something like that, I feel like streaming at first is like way easier to get into than, and less scary actually to get into than other ways. There we go. And this chick is gonna have brakes, by the way. I think I messed that perspective up right there. But bikes are really fun to draw. It's kind of funny because I used to actually just draw these characters, right? Just like that. It's crazy actually how this all started. I actually used to not even give God glory. I'm going to flat out. I mean, you could go to my art Instagram. There's so many drawings. I did not try and give God glory whatsoever. I just draw the character. I just draw some cool looking character. And then it started getting into like, oh, well, I could put a little cross in here. And then it got to the point where I got so burnt out of drawing characters. And then what kind of got me back into drawing was actually, I was like, you know what? I like to ride bikes so much. Let's start drawing the characters and then putting a bike in there. And that really kind of sparked my interest again because I was like, huh, it's really like, it's kind of fun. So if you guys, by the way, I know I say this a lot too, but the materials that we're using, this is just computer paper. Why I started using computer paper is there was this animator, his name's LaShawn Thomas. He animated the Boondocks and stuff like that, which I think most of you guys have probably seen on Cartoon Network when it was, you know. And the thing is that he would just use, I was like, what in the world? That guy just uses computer paper because he says it's just cheap. You can just, and if you're just drawing so much, you know, you just want to have a mass amount. Now this is something that's kind of where we started using a Crayola colored pencil because it's hard to erase. And you can kind of work in layers. And then this is just a 0.5 pencil. So now we are going to go in with, this is like, I like to say that this is a commitment pencil. And once we commit it, then we erase this one again and then we do a cleanup layer. So let's go in with this one. I hope you guys doing good out there. Whether we eat or drink, let us do it for the glory of the Lord, right? Though I'm going to be honest, sometimes I don't know if I'm doing that correctly. So I apologize right out the bat if I am offending anybody. Because unfortunately, I actually have offended a lot of people with how I draw things. especially putting Bible verses on stuff. And now I kind of know a little bit of the levels of offense. You know, certain things I know trigger certain believers and stuff like that. And so, and basically the violent stuff for sure. But I think this is kind of like, that's actually been a very big challenge, is how do we draw like an armor of God, kind of like knight, paladin-esque, but also try to, you know, illustrate it in such a way where we can maybe be promoting peace or, you know, loving others and stuff like that. Okay, let's draw the stem. The stem's actually not, it's probably 40 millimeter stem right there. And it's kind of funny, I actually really like drawing the bikes because it kind of feels like you get to make your own geometry, you know, like if you see a lot of some of these pro riders up in here, they get to make their own parts and stuff like that, right? They tell like the company like, oh, well, I want the bars to be at this specific angle, and I want like 75-degree head tube, all sorts of stuff. So how's the stream? The stream is going pretty good. Actually, the bike riding was actually the past 2 days, the bike riding has been super hard, man. It's actually crazy. It's like the Bible studies was actually somewhat moderate. I would like to say the Bible study was at a level 7 hardness, maybe, yeah, probably like 7 hardness, because it was just so gnarly reading the entire commentary that we did on 1 Colossians 11. Then the bike riding was almost at like this 9 level hardness, because I only landed one thing, or I guess I landed 2 things all day today. The drawing is, I would have to almost say it's on a level of maybe 3 or 4 in terms of hardness level. So it's pretty chill right now. For some reason, the flatland's been really, really hard lately. I'm just lurking and listening, but I want to say hi as well as put Dino in the chat for Dino Chicken Nugs. Awesome. Well, you guys are doing good. By the way, you guys do not need to watch my stream. I feel like I know my stream's probably pretty boring. Because I have heard, I do follow the Twitch Reddit account thing, and a lot of like craft makers, or what do you call them? Arts and crafts, or whatever. There's a big hit on a lot of viewership because it's very slow, right? I wish, you know, it's like it's kind of like watching paint dry, honestly, you know? So. It's relaxing. This looks like a GT Performer geometry. It's a great pace of stream for the evening time when people are winding down to bed. Interesting, I never thought about it that way, huh? How are you doing, Dino Chicken Nugs? Man, dude, your name just stands out so gnarly. Like, it's like that's a really cool name, man. Like, that is a very prominent, like, name. You get to see that a mile away. I wish there wasn't the case. There's so much beauty. Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's just more of the younger generation, right? Or maybe the generation where, you know, like the TikTok, Instagram is just like, you know, just like, because those videos are crafted in such a way that it keeps your attention, right? But then if you think that you're doing that over and over and over and over again all the time, your attention span's probably getting a hit, you know? It's like, even my attention span, I feel like, is just more like that now too, unfortunately, just because of how our society is. It's very interesting, right? It's very interesting to think about that kind of stuff. And there has to be, I think I've overheard people saying that there's a whole like you know, like psychologists and therapists and stuff. There's like this whole new emerging like psychologist therapist thing, like technological psychologists or something, like how like technology is affecting kids and stuff like this, and not even kids, how technology is affecting adults, and how is it affecting relationships, how is it affecting marriages, how is it affecting, you know, all sorts of stuff, even education. Kind of crazy. That bike looks kind of cool. Let's put some brakes on this bike. We've been drawing too many brakeless bikes. I'm gonna be honest, I've always been a brake user, so, and I honestly think brakes are really fun to draw. This is the back brake. This is the front brake. Been good, thanks to God. Lots of work to do. I wish we could just motivate everybody, you know? I wish we could motivate everybody to trust in the Lord. That's the other thing I also want to say. A lot of these techniques and stuff that I'm using, even the bike riding and stuff, even the Bible study that I'm doing, a lot of these things I've been inspired by other believers. It wasn't just like I just started like doing these things, right? I've learned a lot of these techniques, even with this drawing, just the art style that I'm into and stuff like this, a lot from many other believers. So it's been a gradual process of being inspired, looking into what other believers are doing. And I think that's something to keep an eye out for, no matter what you guys are into, right? Depending on what you're studying or what you find fascinating, find the believers in the midst of that and see what they're doing, right? Because sometimes I think like God potentially might have people in certain areas for certain reasons. I might be wrong on that, but when I think about the body of Christ, I think about that. So this is our cleanup layer. See how we kind of just like redrew it? So we're actually going to redo another layer on top of this to clean everything up. I'm actually going to go into BMX Streets right now. I want to see if anybody's even in BMX Streets right now. Right. Darn, nobody's even in there. Oh well, we'll just keep it right here. There was this game that came out called BMX Streets, and I guess people still play it, but not many people play it. I was going to go on that stream just because we're drawing a BMX bike, but... Okay, so now let's draw this bike. I don't know if should I zoom it in more? By the way, I apologize if it's kind of mundane watching this. I feel like it's probably boring, but... Okay, let's draw this. So I like to start with the stem right here. And for some reason I like to start with this bar too right here. Let's draw this lever. Oh, wait, let's see here. Oh, an auto mod. Oh, that's weird. Somebody said cheap viewers. What's really cool about streaming that I've been digging is I've been meeting more and more people saying, you know, they have trouble fellowshipping or they feel awkward fellowshipping because maybe, you know, the people they're fellowshipping with is like way older than them. And I think that's a really cool thing about Twitch at the moment is that, like, we're able to fellowship on the fly, you know, while just doing stuff that we're into, you know. It's actually pretty interesting. And you get to see many parts of the body of Christ, I feel like. Because we're all into different things, right? We all have different life experiences. By the way, this guy right here, his name's Joel Schallhorn. This guy's a really gnarly writer. Very underrated writer. He does really, really hard maneuvers. And he's also like a stunt performer. It's kind of crazy. Like, that's literally like his job. He works at this place like called Waterworld or something. Not Water. I think it's Waterworld, something like that, but... Let me push this back a little bit on this side right there. Okay, let's go. So now we do the brake cable. So the brake cable's gonna go down. There's a little, I forgot what this thing's called, but it's a little like tube thing. And then it goes out into two other cables like that. And then there's a little, we're gonna draw a gyro system. I don't know if it's gyro or gyro. I think it's gyro. The gyro system's gonna be right here. It's like this little thing right there. These cables go down and connect right there. And then there's another one where the cables come down and they connect right there. Just fun to draw. Oh, the hands, I gotta redo it. Hands are hard. I'm not good at hands, everybody. That's why this hand looks, it's just, I just draw like little masses of shapes and hopefully it kind of looks something like a hand. Okay, come on, let's see this. Little pinky, little palm. There we go. That look like a hand? Kind of looks like a hand. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really bad at drawing hands. It's just some people are really, really good at them. When you look at some of these animators, they're like, they know exactly every single muscle of the hand, how it works, how it operates, all that stuff. I'm not like that. I kind of just think about them as little, just this shape right here, and then just thinking about just little masses of shapes. I have heard something about a lot of the old marble sculptors. If you see a lot of the old marble sculptors, you'll see these two fingers right here connected, right? And there's like almost like this thing, you'll see a lot of them getting connected right here. And the thing is with the marble is they did that for a reason, because there's more, there's more surface area, because a finger like that, especially if you're hammering and chiseling like this, you just chisel, you just break a finger, right? So what they would do a lot of times is they would like kind of connect a lot of fingers like that. So let's keep going. Draw these wings. You guys know what soundtrack this is? Who knows what the soundtrack this is? Like playing an RPG game. So this is the other cool thing about Flatland. Is that you can learn it in very little areas. Look at these guys. Hello, brother in Christ Jesus. How are you? Doing pretty good, Fufu. How are you, man? I hope you're doing alright, man. You getting the encouragement you need? Remember, one thing that I do, everybody, is whatever emotion that sometimes we get depressed, sometimes we get, even if we're believers, sometimes we do get depressed, we do get an anxiety, we do go through envy and jealousy, we do go through, worry or anger and frustration. What I like to do is I'll go on YouTube and whatever I'm going through, right, just look up sermons, and sometimes you just gotta listen to like 20 of them, man. I have to do that sometimes. So if you guys are out there and you guys are, maybe going through something, do that. And the other cool thing about God's Word is that you can multitask. You can do the dishes, listen to God's Word in the background, have it in, Okay, let's do the shield now. Let's clean this up. There's a little bit of construction line still in here. Man, this drawing took a while. Let's see here. Not too bad. Trying my best to find a way how to explain to someone it is wrong to follow what the world does so that you may preach the gospel, an example. Huh. Well, I guess I'm going to be honest. There is a lot of differences, it does seem like, between denominations and what people would consider worldly, right? Take, for example, the Amish, right? The Amish and the Mennonites, right? It's interesting because what they think is worldly. They think actually living in modern society, in society is actually being worldly, right? Now, the thing is, then we go on to another, maybe some different aspects of some denominations. They think, they think of just worldly as just maybe just sexual immorality or, things of that, Example, you play Dark Souls to preach or GTA 5. I mean, I get, I guess it depends, because I also think we also have to remember that, maybe God has people in dark areas, right? And sometimes also I'd also even like to consider, Paul, how Paul used to actually persecute Christians, and Paul used to be totally against the faith, right? And even if we always have to have the grace, and also to remember, if God could use someone like Paul that was once like that, we never know how God might be using somebody, right? So, Jake Benner, you say, I love these verses. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to obey everything I've commanded you, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Matthew 28:19-20. So listening, others, swearing is okay then? I think it might depend. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes it depends on maybe who you're around. Me personally, I feel like actual curse words are not truly curses themselves. I don't curse though. I'm just saying. There are believers that are still maybe growing and they still curse and stuff like that, right? And maybe some of them aren't even aware, right? The reason why I don't curse is I actually had to work. I used to work at Woodward. I used to work at Woodward West, which a lot of believers are there actually, strangely enough. And the thing is that at Woodward, we had to use our wood words, otherwise we'd get fired because we weren't supposed to cuss and stuff in front of kids and stuff like that. So that is actually why I don't cuss, just because I had to work there for like 7 months. And like, it was crazy because I went in there like cursing like a sailor, and then after 7 months of being around other people that can't curse either, it really does change your vocabulary. But the thing is imagine if you were like a little kid, right, and you just always cursed everywhere you went, right? It'd be pretty hard to change that. Okay, let's see here. Jesus, when he knows our hurts, he left them. We are in the world, but not of it. There's a difference between tolerating swearing and engaging with it. Some people are really resistant. Some people need to avoid it. I guess the other thing I did hear recently a believer say something about personal conviction. Maybe sometimes the Holy Spirit might convict something on your heart that maybe it might be a little bit different. Now, I know that might sound controversial, but we also have to remember we all go through different life experiences. We all are going through different, seasons and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not a pastor. I'm not like a crazy theologian guy. I'm just trying to meditate on the Word of God. I don't know, right? I'm still learning. There's so much stuff I need to learn as well, everybody. So, but I'm going to be honest, like I've met many believers that are in so many different aspects, right? I feel like I messed that up, huh? Oh, just do it like that. And I do apologize if I am offending anybody. It's not my intention, all right? I'm sorry if I am. Many times I'm not even aware that I offend people, so if I am, I feel like you guys should let me know, or if there's something I should work on. Because we also have to remember a lot of times people don't know that we are offensive, right? So that's the other thing. Just want to lay it out there. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, right? Hopefully we would just build one another up in some way, right? John 17:14-16, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Interesting. What do you guys think about the whole Amish Mennonite thing, right? Now, here's the thing, right? I feel like, do you guys follow Titus Morris? Now, it's kind of funny because I actually do have a friend, and he was kind of the one that, showed me who Titus Morris was on YouTube, because there's this video. I guess I could show you the video right now. He's kind of a controversial person. I mean, I guess I don't see him as controversial, but, some people have said some of his teachings are wildly controversial and stuff like that. But this guy right here, Titus Morris, Peter Santinelli. You guys should watch this. It's actually very interesting. Which one is it? I think it's this one right here. This is the video my friend showed me. And look at, it has a lot of views. Dude, it has 14 million views, bro. It came out a year ago. You guys, I'm surprised you guys haven't heard about this guy. This guy actually does have a YouTube channel now. This guy right here, this is Titus. But this guy knows a lot of the scriptures, and what's also interesting, he knows how to sing the scriptures. It's interesting because he can read the Bible, and I guess there's this way you can read the Bible where you can read it verse by verse, but also you sing it in a song. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen anybody do that. But the other thing I just want to say, kind of the controversial thing, because this guy does say some things that I don't agree with. It's not like I agree with everything this guy says, because he has said things about, worldliness, and you got to kind of go away from society, and you got to live out on the land. And the thing is that we are called to make disciples of all nations. And I feel like that's kind of the thing about the Amish and the Mennonites, is sometimes they're so far removed from normal society that how can you make disciples of all nations if you're not even a part of those, you don't even want to be a part of those societies, right? A wise man listens to another wise man, such as they fall, they ignore correction. Isn't that like a proverb or something? Singing scripture is such a great memorization tool. Yeah, isn't that? Huh, that is an interesting one, but yeah, it might be interesting for you guys. Look at that. Titus Morris, Peter Santinello. A very interesting character, I will say. He's a very interesting character, Titus. Character, it was pretty fun to do though. We are gonna put some like some darts in here, so let's see. How should we put some of these darts in here? Darts of the enemy. The flaming darts of the wicked. Which I have heard some pastors say that it's interesting. It is actually very interesting that darts are mentioned as one of the weapons that the devil uses, right? And the thing about dart, because I know some translations actually use arrows, right? Arrows, but many of the translations they actually use the word darts, and it is interesting to think about darts, right? Because if we think about armor, and we think about sometimes there's cracks in the armor, right? Weak points in the armor, and what can get through those weak points? Sometimes darts, because they're really little, right? That picture is a great reminder of the armor. Yeah, I do that. I do it a lot, actually. The armor of God, kind of like paladins and stuff like that. Let's see, how should I do it? I think we're going to do one more right up in here. Okay, let's go into it now. I put in little notches and stuff in the drawings too. Shield of faith. Okay, let's put this cross in here. Yeah, there's still so much to learn in the scriptures. Every day, man. Every day I do. Even if I do I'm gonna be honest. Even if I do a Bible study on a verse that I've done 20 times, I feel like there's just always something I didn't remember, or some new combo in the scriptures. Let's see, 2 Timothy 2:19, nevertheless the foundation of God standeth sure, having the seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his, and let every one that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity. Okay, we're almost done, everybody. I think we're going to put the verse right here because I don't really have much room. I was going to maybe put the verse right here, but I think we're going to have to put it right here. I was going to put a little bit of some little animals and stuff. Maybe we might. We actually might. Can I still do that? Yeah, we're gonna put the verse right here, I think. We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in us in advance for us to do so. Yeah, those ones are actually interesting. The verses prior are used a lot, right? They're used quite a bit. Okay, so we're gonna put, I think we're gonna put the Isaiah 40:31 verse. I like those verses. Isaiah 40:31. These ones are used by a lot of believers. I feel like most of you guys know these verses, right? I'm gonna write these ones in here. Just because of the wings, you know, like a lot, I'm gonna be honest, I have gotten a lot of people, is that an angel or something like that? I'd like to not think of it. I think it's just like the armor of God with like Isaiah 40:31 wings, right? These verses right here. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And one we're going to put in there. But also this is like Isaiah 40:31, but also like Isaiah 40:31, but also the armor of God. Which maybe I might have to just write that, because I would like to write all of those verses right now, but I only have this little bit of room right now. So I'm wondering, should I just write, we could do the in and out thing. Do you guys like in and out? Who likes in and out here? I think that's the cool thing about in and out, is they put like the verses, but they kind of like, you know how like in and out just puts the verses of like, just, which I might do, because then I could just do Ephesians 6, the armor of God verse, and then also just Isaiah 40:31, and then just have those two right there. Maybe I could just put like a couple verses instead of writing the entire verse out. It's kind of got messed up right there. And we need to put some more music on. What happened to the music? That soundtrack, we listened to the entire thing.
Want a snack that tastes good and you feel good about? Quaker, the rice thing to do.
What about... In and Out. It's like a... You ever heard about it? It's like the hamburger place. But they put like Bible verses on stuff. It's actually really crazy. I actually have some of the stuff still. Yeah, I think we are going to just put... Instead of writing the entire verse, I think we're going to do the in and out method. I actually don't really do the in and out method. I guess I could show you the in and out method. The in and out method's like this. And how they share verses. I didn't know that. Yeah, it's actually very, very interesting. I wasn't aware that they did that for a while because they hide them. It's really, really little. But you guys could look it up too. It's very, very interesting. I like when companies do that, honestly. I really, really like it when companies do it. I'll put a multitude up in here, though. Yeah, look it up. It's actually really cool. Very, very cool. So we're going to do Isaiah 40:31. And I'm going to see if I could... Can I zoom it in? And for some reason, I always have to write at an angle. So it's a little hard to get it in here in the frame. We're doing it. Okay, so Isaiah 40:31. Isaiah 40:31. Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6. Let's look at the E. I don't know where my Bible is. I guess my Bible's outside. Should be in the garage. I think it's in the garage. Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6. Oh, 10 through 17. Yeah, Ephesians 6, 10 through 17. Ephesians 6, 10 through 17. That's praying at all times in the Spirit with all prayer and supplication to the end. Keep alert with all perseverance, making supplication for all saints. That is very important. We might as well just do 10 through 20, huh? Let's do 10 through 20. Get all of it in there, huh? Now it is actually it's actually much faster to do it this way. For the longest time, I've literally been writing the entire verses. But now it's kind of cool because we can put a variety of verses in here. Thinking about, I think also like whether we eat or drink, whether we eat or drink, let us do it all for the glory of God. That's 1 Corinthians 10:31. Corinthians 10:31. I think there's also one about a green leaf Bible verse. I think that would be a good one, huh? I could show you guys. I actually have a little bit of things from In and Out. That one's actually an issue. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. I'm going to be honest, that's actually kind of why I started putting this little green, or a little inspiration to why I started drawing the little leaf. So I'll do Proverbs 11:28. More. I wish I could go to one. Yeah, that's the other thing is once we know more about the scriptures too, it's very easy to add in verses. It's not like I went in here like thinking, oh, I'm going to do this and this. How you can do it is like you can draw a character and you can put a shield right here, put some little darts. You can put even a little cross or something like that. And then it does kind of make me think about some of the verses. But when I do these drawings, I kind of just don't really think about that per se. I kind of just go, let's just draw a cool character and then hopefully try to give God glory somehow. Something like that. Let's see here. I was going to add maybe a little... Nah. I like to put little squirrels and little animals and stuff. I feel like this one... Maybe we might put a little... Maybe like a little rabbit right there or something. It's protecting it or something. We can do that. Maybe a little squirrel. Maybe a little rabbit. Let's see. Maybe it's like she's like protecting it or something. So it would be like a little monkey right here, or a little squirrel, a little rabbit. You guys can lurk. You guys don't even need to be watching the stream, by the way. I feel like I'm just wasting you guys' time. I apologize if I apologize. Wait, rabbits have big ears. What am I this is like a rabbit squirrel. Holy chabunga. I kind of want to make it a little bit smaller. It's a little big. Let's try it. Let's see here. I guess we'll make it a little bit smaller. This rider right here is really cool. Alex Kennedy. He's really smooth. Okay, let's see. This thing's hard to draw. It's like hard to draw a little monkey right there. Huh. Keep redoing it. Good thing it's not in ink, huh? Try all sorts of little designs up in here. Oh, inking's gnarly. Shout out to all you guys that ink. There we go. There's the little monkey we've been trying to find. Look at that little thing. What the? We're committed to it. What the? Alright, let's put our signature in here. Maybe put a fish up there. And put a no, I won't put anything up there. We'll call it a day. Actually, I'm going to do one more as well. showed the company the only company that's really hooked it up, so it's kind of hilarious that you can do it like this. It's gonna be so funny, like going back to all these. They're gonna be like, "What in the world? What is that?" Let's see a little shout out. I only buy. Sometimes I wonder if God just finds it hilarious. Cause I'm like, God, out of all the companies, man, this is the only company. Well, I guess there's 2 companies that hooked it up. Golden Days as well. But I don't know if there's still a company, so. No, this one still is. Okay, little Easter egg right there. Just do a little bit more emphasis on some of these areas. This one. I kind of want to like maybe like see how these arrows are right here. Maybe like put some like little like kind of like maybe make it look like there's some like grass kind of like going like this. You know, it's like almost like the opposite of fire, right? Like whoop, like fire into like life or something. Like it was like trying to like hit the little monkey. Where's our orange pencil at? Where did it go? Put a little bit of, actually I need to, oh here it is. Put a little bit of fire in here. A little bit of color. Oh, I forgot about the rest of that bike right there. Also, I think we're gonna put the pedal right here. I know it's kind of odd, but I think we're gonna put the pedal right there so you can see it. That it's actually a bike. I guess darn, I probably shouldn't have. Oh well, it's kind of like crowded right there, but oh well. It's supposed to be a pedal. There we go. Alrighty, everybody. Well. This is the drawing. Let me turn off everything. Put that off. Let's exit out of that. Okay, let's put off all of this stuff. The text. Chat, the BMX video, the image slideshow. And we use this thing right here kind of to hold the paper and stuff like that. And we're going to put this one on this wood thing, and then we're going to get a thumbnail, and then maybe we could raid somebody. So, now do any of you guys play Fortnite? Just wondering. Because I do know another BMX rider, and he plays Fortnite a lot. The thing is, I feel like a lot of you guys don't play Fortnite, so. Let me put this song on. There we go. Alrighty, everybody. Let's get some close-ups in here. This is what we have got done. Got a little heart on the sword, by the way. Little heart, little cross. Got the Bible right here. Got a little bracelet with a cross on it. We got this, looks to be some sort of flatland bike. Looks to be a 35mm stem. We got some flatland bars. We got front and back brakes, gyro. Looks to be maybe 15mm offset forks. Got some bendy tubes up in here. And got a leaf pack. Got a little monkey right there. Look at that little monkey. What the? The arrows almost got it, huh? Here's the verses that we got in here. And now we're going to get the thumbnail. This is how I get the thumbnail, by the way. I just like line it up right here. Just like so. And yeah, and then we just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is the thumbnail for the stream that we're going to use. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can raid somebody. So let's see who is live right now. And that song is still going on. Let's see. Let's see who we can raid. Let's see if there's anybody on here. 13 people watching me. That's crazy. Does anybody here play Fortnite? I'm gonna be honest, because I will raid one of my friends as a BMX rider. But if you guys do not play Fortnite, I probably won't do it. Let's see who else is streaming. Let's see here. You do play Fortnite, okay? Maybe we will stream. Raid. Hey, Brad and friend. Let's see who's up on here. We got oh, he's playing Lethal Company right now. Who should we raid? I guess we're gonna raid. Maybe we'll raid Kai Sen. You guys want to watch Kai Senate? I don't know if he'll give me a shout out. Maybe we'll raid Kai Senate or something. Kai Senate actually is a believer. So let's actually raid Kai Senate, because I actually have never raided like I'm wondering what happens if I raid a really, really big streamer. What happens? Okay, so if you guys look up Kai Senate Christian on YouTube, this guy actually is a believer. I'm going to be honest, please be explicit. His content he probably curses a lot. I actually do think he curses a lot. I'm just warning you guys. But we're going to raid Kai Senate, and yeah, that's who we're raiding. And I'm wondering what happens if you raid a big streamer. I don't really know. But I know that guy's a believer. Ask him about the Bible. But there's so many people he probably might not get to your chat. Kai Senate. We're starting the raid, everybody. Holy moly, I've never raided a big streamer before. Dude, he's in his little house thing. Share a Bible verse or something. Ask him about the Bible if you can. Farewell, travelers. Thank you for tuning in. Glory be to the Lord. And I'll probably see you guys maybe tomorrow or something. Let's see what happens if I raid him. I wonder if he wouldn't even say anything. Oh, shit. Oh, I mean... I'm sorry, everybody. Like I said, there's some explicit language. I apologize, but... I don't know, on his YouTube he says he's a believer, so look him up. Look up Kai Senate Christian on YouTube or something like that. But, farewell, everybody. I apologize if there's a lot of cursing. I'm sorry. This is probably who I shouldn't have streamed. I should have rated, but oh well. He says he's a believer, so I don't know. Adios, everybody. Adios.